Welcome to Front Forward Podcast. My name is Andrew Ikuchi, your host, and today we're going to be with Skylure Pannell of Grit and Grind. He is our new sponsor, as you know, this guy you always love to say, working on your canvas to be the best that you can be. I want you to elaborate on that. Like, what made you come up with that?
Well, I feel like everybody deals with some type of adversity, and competition's good. I'm a very competitive person, but like sometimes you don't want to get caught always looking at the next person, the person next to you. I feel like it's better to just focus on what you got going. It's more of you versus you. So that was more the concept of it, just like staying focused on me, being like, all right, I can lose, but I know I lost giving it my best. You feel me? So that's more or less the concept. I feel like with social media too, we play it plays the hand of looking at the left or the right, trying to figure out how we can better ourselves, which is good. But I can see how sometimes it does play effect to people where it's like, all right, um, they don't come out being the best version of themselves because they think overthink it and they see how other people get it. And Instagram, social media only does the highlights. They don't go through the whole process and the journey of life. And I can say one thing about life, the ups and downs, the adversity part of it, you can find the beauty of it. And that's why I can say for me, I had to learn.
That's great. Um, so I just want to give a background because I want to give a background to everyone, our viewers and stuff like that. I met you. I just want to give a debrief of how much you mean to me. Obviously, I met him 2 years ago. And I met you at the gym, and
Mm-hmm.
then I worked out with you, and then you've been helping me ever since. You know what I mean with this, and with basketball my whole career. So I want to thank you for that.
I
First of all,
appreciate it,
coming on
man.
here. Um, but I want to how what made you like fall in love with your passion to help other people throughout their journey. You know what I mean?
It, I could say I always had that in me. I could say stemming from family. My mom always said, "We're all we have," and just making sure the next person is good, and it's one hand wash the other, both hands wash the face type thing. Whereas like you don't know what the other person can bring that can help to the table and basically make you a better version of yourself. You can't do all the work yourself, you know. And I can say the beautiful thing about meeting you, man. I always told you from the first time I did meet you, I'm like, yo, you carry yourself very mature. I thought you was already in college, but like it's crazy now seeing you got the
Yeah,
beard and shit, and
yeah,
you growing more into yourself, and that's what life is, man. Just growing more into yourself, man.
yeah. That's yeah. What does family mean to you? What would you say like family means to you?
Family's everything to me, man. I feel like that's one of the main reasons I get up every morning to go get it. I had a mother that she worked at the bus company, and I can say one good thing about it is she was always at all my games. It's very supportive. She did end up getting injured, but the only bright side is that I always, when I know when I had to look to the left, somebody's right there for me, no matter what. So family's huge to me. I feel like if you don't got a great support system, it's kind of hard to get shit going for yourself. Um, and you can cultivate that too. And I can say I slowly cultivated that throughout the years with some friends and stuff like that. That I could say now, growing up, like yo, we family we went through so much together, so many challenges and stuff like that. That now I can say we can laugh at.
Yeah,
That in the midst of it, it was like, damn, this shit is over.
yeah, yeah,
But now you can just look at it and be like, yo, that time wasn't as bad as we really thought, man. And I'm happy you were there for me to make it a lot easier. Sometimes just having that ear or just to lean on somebody makes the flow a lot easier.
yeah. Um, let me. When did you start like building a passion for sports specifically? Like when I've seen you have a passion, especially with grit and grind. You're starting it up. You're helping other people out. But what made you have that driving passion for yourself for sports, basketball, football, etc.?
I could say young. It was a cool thing. My pops, he had a lot of fucking like baseball cards, football cards, basketball cards, and one thing I would do, social media wasn't as crazy. I would look at the back of all the cards and see how much people was averaging, assists, yards, and for me, I was a three athlete type of person. I did track, basketball, and I did football. And me looking at those cards, I would always be like, damn, how did they get to that? You feel me? What you had to do to get that many points? And I could say as I got older, understanding roles and role players, it made me love sports a lot more because you can see the team aspect of just trying to win one goal, the championship. And it's dope, man. The camaraderie, winning and losing, it has its benefit because I say, even though say if you don't win a championship, just seeing how far you can take the next person that you're with and how far they're willing to go for you, it shows a lot.
Yeah. Um, I had one oh my favorite thing that you say. I always when you text me, rise and grind,
Mm-hmm.
right? Elaborate what all like that's huge, especially for someone that doesn't hear that and that comes into life when you're like rise and grind and get up, you know what I mean? Like get out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
How did that come into play when you were just like rise and grind? Like how did you think of that to make that like your thing?
My thing, I could just say it was just one of those things. Like I'm an affirmation type of person. It was one of those things. That's like, all right, yo, you can either just sit there and think about your dream, or you can actually execute and put the effort and energy into it. And nobody's gonna execute your dream more than you. So you got to work 24/7. You know what I mean? If you're gonna work for somebody else, they're gonna want you to be on time, work as hard as you can. But I was more or less like, nah, I can put that energy into myself and see how far I can go. So rise and grind, rise and shine. At the end of the day, the work's gonna be hard, but I'll take the lumps and blows that come with it. At least I know I gave it up my all.
Yeah. With that, what was your favorite part, especially of the grind? Because you obviously had to go through a lot to get to where you are now. So what was your favorite part of that whole process?
I could say just finding out what I wanted to do and what my niche was, because I feel like there's always in times in life you might get a little lost. You don't know what you like to do. I know I love sports, like we always say,
Yeah.
and I told myself like, yo, I want to do something within that realm. Either I can play for a team, work for a team, or work out players. So it's like, what can I do to stay consistent? And I can say I can still benefit from it, because I can say working out with people and seeing people what they go through, their hardships and adversity, it definitely pushes me, because I'm not the only one. Like when they see me, like, yo, you going hard? Nah, I see what you're going through. I see the battle that you're fighting. As long as you can get there, that's the hardest part sometimes, just getting there. And then from there, just a snowball effect, just keep going.
Yeah. Um, let me when you especially when you train people, what's a one thing that keeps you going throughout like, okay, I'm helping them, but what makes you think like as I'm helping them, like what's the driving motive of yeah, I'm helping someone, but you know, how should I word this? When you're training someone, right?
Mhm.
What gives you like what makes you able to constantly day in day out be like I'm gonna wake up tonight, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow morning, I'm sorry, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow morning, I'm gonna train from 7 in the morning to 10 at night. I'm gonna be tired, but I'm gonna keep going every single day. What gave you that drive to be like, even after all my sports careers, like I'm gonna still work out, be in the best possible shape I could be?
I could say, like I said before, like meeting you, you know what I mean, and getting to understand your backstory. Logan too. Um, Seeing you guys and see how we mix and mingle. Like we all come from different walks of life, and our age gap is very very huge. You know, I'm
Yeah.
29, just turned
Yeah,
19.
yeah, I'm about to turn 19. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just cool for me to see how we can connect in certain ways. I can say you guys sometimes remind me of my little nephews that I got. He's crazy. He's in college, and one that's not in college. So like speaking to you guys and see how you guys are ahead of your time and ahead of the curve, and all you got to do is just keep doing what you love to do. So I can say that's a motivating factor, because it's like you guys inspire me without even knowing it. You know,
Yeah.
like just seeing from what you got right here. You feel me? Took a little thought, took a little time. You feel me? But it's coming together. And I know in another 6 months, if you keep grinding it out, going through the ups and downs, and don't try to cheat the process, it's gonna be very beautiful for you, man. And all I can say is, man, just keep going with it. And that's why I can say my motivating factor is just seeing people what they go through and see how I can be just a little benefit, if I can be a bright spot in somebody's life.
Yeah. If you were to give someone, like, let's say I met you just now, where I'm walking on the side of the road, we just interact real quick. If you see someone is struggling, right? What would be like one key advice that you've learned throughout your whole life that benefited you, but to make other people motivated? Obviously, you have your own motivating factors, but it could be different to someone else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying, what advice would you give to someone that like you just met, like you just met them? What's a piece of advice that you'd give them?
It just depends what they're looking for. If it's more or less like some life advice,
Yeah, life advice.
you
We'll go
know,
life advice.
I could say I would give them. I would figure out what they're why and what they're doing and try to do as far as like niche and where they're at with it. And then I can say I can give more in depth answer. But like if I could just say off rip, just keep going with it. because it's gonna be ups and downs. It's gonna be times where shit look lovely and look better than it really does, and you learn from those times. Like for me, 2019, I had my gym in my garage. That's when COVID and shit happened. But I could say for me, it sparked a huge inspiration because I was like, my gym was full of, the garage was full of just a lot of shit. Just shit you just throw in there.
Yeah.
So just for me to slowly see the process, and I have the videos of me taking everything out and then slowly investing into turf and then paint and then mirrors. And I was like, all right, if I can get people to go here, come to me, I can definitely give myself, I can definitely put myself in position and go elsewhere and bring people to me. I just have to figure out how to do it. And
Right. Yeah.
I started off with social media, getting the people I know close to me, and then I could say it just kept me, me seeing how it progressed through time. Was like, all right, nah, I can keep going. I got more comfortable in my skin approaching people because approach is huge. You don't want to be too, I would say, aggressive. You know what I mean? Especially coming in the gym world, because saying somebody's not doing something correctly, you know how that can offend somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you got to be definitely careful how you tread that line. So I could say, throughout time, I learned approach how I can come to people, seeing how I can be of help.
Right.
And even if we don't say work out, you don't sign up as a client as me, I can definitely get some tips, and which I probably don't. So I can definitely learn from you.
Yeah. Um, Adapting to new situations, right? Obviously, that's a struggle for many people. There's a lot of different challenges, and there's a lot of new situations that you face daily. What's your mindset when you're going through every single day and you have to adapt, constantly adapting to different type of things, different type of problems? So, what is your mindset on adapting?
And that's the beautiful thing. Like I said, we all connect because it's sports. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Basketball in particular is how we met each other. And one thing about basketball, it's a game of runs. You could be going good, winning 6 straight buckets, and next thing you know, like, yo, what the fuck just happened? We down now.
Yeah.
But it's more or less like, can you build that morale and keep everybody on the court? Like, all right, this shit was meant to happen. It wasn't going to be good the whole time. So how can we flip that switch, see what we just got from this person, take the punch, and keep it going? And that's where I got it from. I could say just day-to-day practices with sports, basketball, football. A lot of people that I could say later on in life, we talk about these practices, how we just went hard and got each other better. But more or less, it brings another animal out of you. I felt like I had to take that aspect of football and basketball and just apply that to life. I know if I can go hard 24/7 with sports, let me see how I can do with working on myself, making myself a better version of myself.
Yeah. So obviously you motivated me, right? So you motivating me motivated me to motivate other people, right? Mm-hmm. So that's one aspect in life that obviously you're gifted with. Mm-hmm. So when you, to our viewers out there, when you're talking about motivation, right, getting up, adapting, I came from a place where I was motivated because of basketball, and that was my main thing. That's why I started this up, so I can motivate other people. Mm-hmm. So what's your main advice when it comes to basketball? Because obviously it takes a lot of work. Logan knows that. You know that. Mm-hmm. I know that. But how much work does it take to be able to get to that level? I mean, you've experienced it. So
I could say, and then like I said, as far as level, like I didn't play collegiately. I played high school, but I feel like with anything in life, you gotta put all your chips in. So it gotta be balls to the wall, pause, and go as hard as you can, man. Because if you're not gonna give it your all and just go through the motions, you're just gonna be happy with just mediocrity. You know what I mean? And one thing you realize, and I can say even for myself as I got older and breaking down, say, younger talent and seeing young people at the gym, I'm like, all right, I can see if you were just the talented kid in your age group, or you actually the talented kid that works for that. It's two different things. Like I can say for me, at a point, like I was just the kid that jumped high, ran fast simply because I was a little bit mature than everybody. But after a while, when you start to get the high school kids catch up, puberty hits and shit. So how can you level and make it level the playing field or give yourself an advantage? So if you're good at one thing, I know for me, I was always good at going right. Then I was like, nah, let me get my weakness up. I was never a good shooter. I'm gonna be real with you. If you ask anybody that knew me, they'd be like, yo, bro, your shot was off. But like that motivation and them constantly, when I say every day being on my ass, like you can't shoot, it put a thick layer of skin on me. And that's why I told them every time I appreciate you, because like people don't know me in the gym. All right, you can't say something I haven't heard. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So it's different when somebody knows you, knows your game, knows where you come from. So it hits a little different where it's like, all right, now they talking about I can't shoot, and they really know how much I've been working. You know what I mean? But after a while, you see yourself putting the work in and seeing how things fall for yourself. It's like, man, shit, I don't give a fuck, miss. I'm gonna keep shooting my shot at the end of the day, and that's life, man. You got to keep shooting your shot until you make it to where you want to be.
What do you think now, like, times like now, what do you think's more valued, talent or hard work? What do you in your eyes?
In my
I'll do
eyes,
it. Yeah.
I think talent.
Yeah.
People look for the highlights. You feel me? The hard work, the grind, the day to day. Like the shit is not gonna be something you see right overnight. You know, and I can say this even for myself, where it's like I just heard it was like a 30, 60, 90-day road or something. I knew like 30 days you build a routine with something, and 60 days where more or less people start to see it. Whereas like you once you build that routine, the 30, 60, 90 days, yeah, my bad, kind of.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
Ask the question, got my bad. I kind of lost.
Talent or hard work?
Talent, hard work. But I feel like hard work's better because you can definitely always get to where you want to go and match up to the talent. Like Kevin Durant always says, like hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard. You know what I mean? To always be at the top of your game, you gotta put yourself in advantage every day. It's a different mindset for yourself, knowing that the next person can take your spot, but you won't allow them to. It's like nah, like I know who I am. I know what I like to do. I'm not gonna allow nobody to be better than me. It's the competitive nature in life. Either you want it or you don't. You know, one of my coaches told me, he's like, "Yo, there's gonna be a day in your life you may not be able to pay your bills. What you gonna do? You gonna sit there and not pay your bills for your wife, or you gonna get out there and go get it?" And I looked at him. I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go get it. I ain't gonna sit on my ass." You feel me? And being put in certain situations, you just be like, "All right, this is just gonna better me for the this is just gonna be for the better. This is just temporary. I'm just in the midst of the storm, but after I figure out how I get over it, it'll be a different animal."
Yeah. So we're talking about, you just brought up routines. That's why it just popped in my head. How important is a routine in someone's life if you're trying to keep focused every single day? How important is a routine?
Routine is you need one. I feel like if you don't have a routine day to day, something that grounds you, that keeps you going, you're just gonna be everywhere. Believe me, I like the spontaneous stuff. That's when I was younger. Where it's like, all right, I'm gonna do this, I might do this, but that's where I didn't get to see as much results. Where it's like, all right, I'm gonna hit the gym today. We're gonna see about Wednesday. You know, where it's like, nah, every morning, 6 a.m., I'm there. Tired or not, as long as I get there. You feel me? I know after a while that mentality kicks in. It's like, all right, you here, you know why you here. Let's get going. So it just, I feel like routine's good. Of course, it doesn't come easy with anything you really want in life. It doesn't come easy, but if you really keep putting that energy into it, you can get it.
So how long did it take for you to build good habits? Or, because obviously everyone has bad habits, and how hard is it in order for you to break those bad habits and make them good ones?
I feel like it just depends what they are, especially if you don't know what the bad habit is. I feel like you gotta identify what the bad habit is. Like, all right, if I say drink too much, if I do this too much, I feel like I learned one thing: if you do everything in moderation, not nothing bad, you feel me?
Yeah.
But in moderation, you can see the benefits of it. I can say when it comes down to the gym, all right, if you never worked out in your life, give it 20 minutes. Next day, let's challenge yourself. Give me 25 minutes. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna aches, pains. I don't want to be here type shit. But after a while, it's like, nah, it's not that bad going to the gym once you find that routine, and it gets easier more and more you go. But you gotta be willing to accept that challenge to yourself and hold yourself accountable. That's the biggest thing in life: holding yourself accountable.
Um, Basketball now.
Mhm.
We're going to talk about the NBA. I want your perspective on it.
Okay.
I had Leon here last week. He said Michael Jordan's the GOAT.
Okay.
Do you agree with that?
See, I'm one person you can't ask that. I'm a LeBron fan since
Okay, I
a
agree with
kid,
Sky.
you
Yeah.
know. So like a kid, because it's more or less like, what else can this man do to prove that he's better than, you feel me, the competition? Of course, one thing I've learned, and I'm not ignorant, meaning just lack of knowledge about the topic. Like, yes, he's not as talented, offensively gifted as say Kobe and Michael Jordan. They're a lot more offensively gifted and have